Welcome. In today's episode, we're diving into the world of finance, empowerment, and financial freedom. Our guest today is Hulya Gunay, the Managing Director and founder of Venice Global Finance. She's on a mission to advocate for financial freedom and equality, particularly by empowering women to invest and secure their financial futures. Now, please welcome Hulya. Being a single mother to 3 boys, including twins, must be challenging. How has your personal journey through marriage, motherhood, and divorce influenced your approach as an independent financial advisor?
Having twins is definitely challenging, and having twin boys is an extra on top. I mean, you have a boy, you probably know what I'm talking about. So it's been challenging, but I think there is always a reason for something. We're here on a purpose, there to teach me something, and I'm there to teach them as a role model, as their mother. I think all these life experiences made me more empathetic, possibly the challenges of to the challenges of my clients going through the similar journeys where I went through. Maybe I am more values-driven financial advisor rather than someone who's only focused on products and numbers and accounts. So I think it made me to understand the challenges of my clients from a first-hand experience and be empathized with them and understand what's important to them and work around their goals and values rather than trying to push products and talk about numbers and etc. So it definitely made me the financial advisor that I am today.
Could you share with us the story behind founding Venice Global Finance and what inspired you to embark on this venture?
It's kind of a long story in terms of how I come to the point that I am. But in a way that if I look back, everything fall into place. And as I mentioned in my previous answer, that everything happens for a reason, and I believe that we're here for a purpose, and everything that I went through prepared me to this point. So I worked in finance since pretty much I graduated from uni. So I studied maths, and finance was kind of like a natural diversion from after I graduated. But I always worked with client-facing roles. So I liked numbers, but I also liked working with people to understand what's important to them and help them with their finances and understanding the financial markets. But when I had my twin boys in 2009, gosh, time flies, I was working at UBS Wealth Management as a client advisor. And having 3 boys under the age of 5 kind of turned my life upside down, as you can imagine, also being in a different country with no family support. And my ex-partner, as much as I don't want to talk about that side of things too much, was not that supportive. So I didn't have any choice but to leave my really actually high-flying career in wealth management. But then I felt really lost. I'm not a very good stay-at-home mom. I worked in financial institutions all over the world, and all of a sudden I was at home with 3 children. So that was kind of the start of my personal journey. Then I started doing coaching courses, but this was not to start a coaching business necessarily, which then led to starting my career coaching business, because I wanted to help other women in my situation to be able to, you know, in a way, assist them in their career. Because if I had a career coach, maybe I would have made a different decision. Then I set up a career coaching business for a while my children were still young. Around 2018, 2019, while I was going through a divorce, I knew that I wanted to go back to my career in finance, because it was always something that I don't believe in regrets, but I believe that I was always going to return back when my children was in school age. So I trained to become a financial advisor. Although I had these qualifications in finance, if you don't practice for a number of years, then you need to sit these exams again, which I did. I think I'm more qualified than any other financial advisors because of the career breaks. I had to sit these exams, and I started working as an independent financial advisor. So while I was going through divorce, I realized that although I'm a financial professional, worked in banking, how much of my power I gave away to my husband financially. And I thought, hold on a second, how about the other woman, like who doesn't have the kind of experience and the qualifications that I have? So I set up Venus Global Finance to champion other women to become financially free, financially independent, and educate them, and especially women who's going through divorce and similar journeys like myself.
Can you share some insights into the importance of being financially prepared for major life upheavals?
Oh, I definitely can, because I've been through some major life upheavals myself. Let's begin with health. You're a health coach and you work with people with different health challenges. And fortunately and unfortunately, I've had to go through some health challenges with myself and as a family. I think having the appropriate protection plans, insurance policies is very important, especially for families. If you have got any financial dependents like children or even parents, etc., depending on you, brothers, sisters, definitely have the protection insurance plans in place. This could be a life insurance to cover your mortgage, for example, if you have got a liability that you don't want to leave debt. Maybe you might not leave wealth behind you, which would be good if you can, but you definitely don't want to leave debt behind you. So it could be life insurance, it could be critical illness insurance, or it could be income protection if you were ill and not be able to work. That's especially important for business owners like us. The other thing that I think is important, what we recommend to our clients, is having some sort of emergency buffer. Yes, have these protection plans in place, but also have the necessary emergency cash. Now, in financial advice world, we usually talk about 3 months of essential expenses to be kept in emergency cash. I believe with the day and age we're living, going through cost of living crisis, maybe 3 to 6 months of emergency cash to be kept for against emergencies, and having the appropriate protection plans in place would be really important and would be the advice.
What are some common financial challenges that you observe among busy professionals and business owners, and how do you help them overcome these challenges?
There are various different challenges, but I think the main challenge with when you're busy with business or when you're busy with work, you don't get your priorities right all the time. I think sorting out your personal and business finances just goes down to the drain. Get to the end of the list. You just live from day to day or paycheck to paycheck, and you never have time to deal with the important things that you need to put in place. I think the main challenge is that they don't have a plan. They don't have particular goals, for example, when it comes to retirement planning. They don't have diversification in their investment portfolio. For example, business owners, they put all the time and effort and the money in their business, and they think the business is their retirement planning, which may be or which may not be, but it's always important to have a plan in place, because the wealth is not going to build itself. The financial freedom is not going to build itself. As you know, as a health coach, you become healthy with building simple habits, like we were talking before our interview, like simple habits into your daily routine. That's how you build health. Simple habits in your daily routine builds wealth. So have a plan, stick with it, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's the advice I would give usually with the business owners or professionals who are too busy to deal with their finances.
I guess it's just like health. You've got to take ownership for things, otherwise you get to a point where it's a bit too late and it's much harder to do anything.
Absolutely, like having a plan, I think, is the key with everything in life, especially with health and wealth, I would say.
In today's economic landscape, what key strategy do you recommend for individuals aiming to grow, preserve and safeguard their wealth?
Definitely going through some tough times economically, but having been worked in Turkey, going through the 2008 crisis and everything, I've seen it all. And this too shall pass. But I think the main point here is the low interest rates and low inflation environment is not here, obviously, as most people can see, with their mortgage rates are increasing. Well, the Prime Minister announced the UK inflation is the lowest, but I don't know how people feel about it. That's the main thing. I think the higher interest rates and higher inflation is going to be around a little bit longer, and with the inflation, I think that is what you need to protect your wealth against, because the inflation erodes your wealth, and not doing anything is not a strategy. Basically, you are losing money. You can't be too cautious. That's what I said to my clients. You need to keep investing and being invested in the markets. Don't try to time the markets, because the longer you invest, the higher your returns will be. And also, when you invest when the markets are in downturn, then you reduce your cost. That obviously depends on your, how much you can lose. Obviously, don't invest more than you can lose, but also know that you're losing money by not doing anything or keeping it in cash. The inflation is eroding your wealth. And I think in today's climate, with especially this is relevant to the UK, the tax planning is really important. The taxes in this country is way too high, and you cannot not have tax planning strategy in place. You're paying half of your salary into HMRC, which is funding whatever they are funding. I don't know. I don't want to get involved politically too much, but from economic point of view, do you really want to pay half of your salary to them? Or do you want your children to pay 40% of your wealth to HMRC? So have some tax planning and make sure that you preserve your wealth against inflation. So have a strategy to protect your wealth against inflation, and also some clever and legitimate ways of reducing your taxes, I think, would be advised.
Can you share any uplifting success stories of women who have achieved financial freedom through your guidance and support?
Oh, I have actually so many. And, last week I was, really glad and very happy and grateful about the job that I was doing. So there's many stories, but I would like to talk about one particular client that is very rewarding to work with her. So when I first met her, this was a couple of years ago, she was going through divorce, and her family lawyer referred her to me because her husband was a very high-level executive in energy sector. She was a stay-at-home mom, similar ages to myself. She's never involved in terms of managing the family finances, because that was part of the controlling financial control strategy. But I'm glad she had the courage to be able to leave that marriage. But when I met her, her mother was not well, so she had to deal with the care fees. She was going through divorce. She didn't know the finances. But now, she's completed her divorce. They sold their family home, unfortunately, but she managed to buy herself a new family home, and she's really happy and thriving. I helped her setting up the various different investment accounts, such as executing the pension sharing order. Now, unfortunately, her mother passed away. I worked through sorting out her mother's probate, so now she's also inheriting her mother's estate, and we are putting in place some intergenerational estate planning for her children. So seeing her going through this, being financially controlled, abused in a way, woman thriving in her own environment with her children, is actually the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's very rewarding for me. And I'm really honored and humbled to be able to work with these amazing people and being able to help them with the work I'm doing.
In your opinion, what are the biggest obstacles preventing women from taking control of their financial futures, and how can these barriers be overcome?
I think this is relevant to the societal constructs that we were made to believe as girls. Like, for example, the STEM subjects. The girls, there's very few girls studying STEM subjects, and I was one of them. I was always interested in science and maths and this kind of subjects, but I think there was two of us when I was studying as girls, and the rest was guys. So this starts from a very, very early age. So we're made to believe that these subjects and finance is related to maths, and if you're not good at maths, then you can't manage your finances, and men are better at that, and then we give our power away. That is something that is difficult to overcome, because it is the societal norms and construct that we adhere to unconsciously or subconsciously. You don't really need to be good at maths. You don't need to be a mathematician. It helps if you are, happy to talk about numbers, but we give our power away, and we need to educate ourselves, I think, and we need to take our power back when it comes to our finances. We can deal with money. Man is not your financial advisor, whoever that man is in your life. So that's what I would usually say to my clients.
So how do you help women overcome any limiting belief or mindset blocks they may have around money and wealth, which is basically what you've described, I think, just now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a tricky one. As I say, we've been raised with the idea that we as girls have got different mission in life, like, raising our children, making sure that they eat well, they go to the clubs, and the money, the man deals with it, and etc. And then you end up in big mess, which I did. And although, I am a financial, professional, worked in finance, it doesn't matter. These subconscious beliefs are so strong in society. I think the education is the key. You need to start educating yourself and not bury your head in the sand when it comes to finances, because that's what I see with a lot of my clients. And as I mentioned, priorities, it goes down to the bottom. No, it should be at the top, Yeah, money is not going to make you happy, but lack of money is not going to make you happy either. With this kind of beliefs, like if you have got money or if you're successful, then you're not a good mother. That kind of all sorts of wrong things that is playing at the background. And it's about educating yourself about finances. It's really important to understand where you are, what you have, what you own. You would be surprised like how many women that I'm talking to when they're going through divorce, they have got no idea. And I was one of them. No judgment here whatsoever, but educate yourself. Also, be aware of the story that you're telling yourself and you grow up with. I grow up with a story like rich people are always either unethical, they're lying, they're cheating. Look at so many rich people. They're not. They're great. I mean, just have a look at the story and change it for an empowering story for yourself and educate yourself. Knowledge is power always.
What advice would you give to women who are just starting their journey towards financial independence?
Oh, I love working with young clients, actually. Funny enough, and I hope they like working with me as well, because I've got quite a young clientele, and I like especially the female professionals who are just starting their career and started to think about their financial planning. I love helping them, because the sooner you start, the better, as you mentioned with health as well. If you leave it too late, it might be, you might be in a state that you might not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. That might not be feasible. I also work with some professionals who are at later stages in their life, and unfortunately they didn't give the importance that they should be giving. I think start as early as you can. Like, for example, I'm trying to even teach my children who are teenagers now, which is so much fun to have 3 teenage boys, but I'm trying to teach them in terms of the money management. What is a pension and why should you have a pension? What's the saving account, and etc. So start as early as you can. Even with your children, start as early as you can. Educate them. And I think educate yourself about investments. I think investments, financial markets, and financial literacy is something that we're not taught at school or not taught properly. So educate yourself about investing, different asset classes, how to invest, and get a professional help if necessary. And it would be necessary. Like, that's also what I say to my clients. If you've got a toothache, you don't go and, Google internet and how to do a filling. You go to a dentist. Like, if you want to learn about investments and financial planning, approach to a professional and put a financial plan and build your investment portfolio. That's what I would recommend.
What motivates you to continue empowering women to achieve financial freedom, even in the face of challenges?
That is the question that makes me think, because there are challenges. And with us being a single mother, running your own business, it's not a walk in the park. What makes me go in terms of, even in the face of challenges, is I want to live what I preach. I don't know, there was a saying, I can't remember, but I want to be the living proof of what I'm trying to teach others. So I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture here, or I'm not selling dreams. Okay, you can start investing into this investment and then there's no get rich quick schemes, if that makes sense. There is going to be setbacks in life. There is going to be challenges in life. I'm still going through my own challenges. I'm not a finished product, and I don't believe anyone is. So I think I want to be the living proof of what I am living or teaching and preaching to others. So I'm in the same journey as them. So there's no option to give up, I would think. And I think, having a definite purpose in life. I definitely love learning, growing with my clients. I teach them something, but they also teach me something else. So this is I think the best rewarding career I can think of for myself. So I think once you have got a definite purpose and you like what you're doing, challenges are just the obstacles in the way, and you just carry on. If you don't give yourself an option to give up, then it's not an option, isn't it?
Finally, for those who are interested in learning more about Venice Global Finance or seeking your guidance, what is the best way to connect with you?
I am usually on LinkedIn, so you can send me a message through LinkedIn, or you can send me an email through my website, and I'm happy to arrange an initial consultation where it is a very friendly chat that we sit down and see where you are, what your needs are, and I explain how we work, and now we'll take it from there. So I'm always happy to have a friendly chat, no obligation, and totally complimentary. So feel free to reach out through LinkedIn or through my website.
Thank you so much, Hulya, for this empowering chat, sharing your expertise and experience with us today. Thank you to our listeners. If you've enjoyed this interview, perhaps you'll enjoy this one or that one. And if you found it useful, please like this video and leave a comment with your questions and thoughts. Have you also considered to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest interviews? Until next time, look after your finances.